What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast, Live Your Best Life. You must live label free. As always bringing you some new dynamic guests, helping them share their story, bringing it to you to motivate you, inspire you. My next guest is a corporate world survivor. He is now a public speaker and an author of Outsmarting Uncertainty, Create Your Best Life in amid anxiety and chaos. I can't talk. He recently moved to Myrtle Beach from the New Jersey area. He was one of 7. Please welcome Mark Valenciano. Mark, thank you for joining us today. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Absolutely, Deanna, and thank you so much for having me as a guest. I'm really excited to be with you. Sure. So I'm Mark Valenciano. I years ago was a corporate executive. Then I became an entrepreneur. I owned my own company for a couple decades. And then recently sold that to follow my passion, to inspire and educate others to go out there and create their best life, no matter what anxiety they might be facing. I really push people to get comfortable being uncomfortable, to kind of toss up the uncertainty balance in their life. At age 15, I was told I was going to go blind. And for a while there, I was kind of grappling with the concept of darkness. I wanted to be thinking about girls and cars and sports.
Yeah.
And instead, I was grappling with the concept that my life was going to be really different. It was going to be really challenging. It was going to be filled with insecurity and uncertainty. And I had to start figuring out some things pretty darn quickly. And at the age of 15, a few months after I was given the news, after kind of wallowing around for a while, feeling sorry for myself, I quietly developed some tools that I've implemented and I've used all of my life to help me navigate through life's biggest and smallest situations and challenges. And these tools have helped me really create a fantastically happy and successful life. And I'm thrilled to be here. I've been sharing my story around North America and Central and South America from the speaking perspective. I love being in front of a live audience. And then decided to put it all into a book.
I love that. That's great. And so
Thank you.
There's a lot of lessons to be learned there. So you are in fact blind. You did go blind. So it wasn't something that they told you. It's something that actually happened, correct?
Yes, I can't see you at all right now. I can't see the camera. I can't see the computer. I do have a sliver of my peripheral vision. So
Okay.
on the very right and the very left, the very top and the very bottom. And I work that peripheral vision really, really, really hard to help me navigate around obstacles, but I still walk into tons of stuff every single day. My shins, my knees, my shoulders, my face, they take a beating. I walk into coffee tables and chairs, half open doors or door frames. I've cut up my face pretty badly a few times. Once I was walking down the sidewalk and I was walking pretty confidently, I had a good clip, and bam, right into an enormous oak tree and just cut up my whole face. So you know what? You got to kind of just roll.
Hey man, you got to take a beating sometimes and just keep on moving, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly.
Well, that is why you are here today, to share your story, and that's why you are impacting lives. So that's a real young age for that to happen. But you seem to have a great attitude. Can you tell us like that journey of acceptance? Probably having to grieve a little bit, with losing your eyesight, and then just kind of turning the corner to where you have created these tools that you've written about now recently.
Yeah, absolutely. So those first months were really difficult. Again, being a 15-year-old boy and being told that news is really hard. You're trying to figure out life under best circumstances. And all of a sudden I had all these questions. My goodness, what about reading? What about finishing high school? What about going off to college? What about having a career, living independently, getting married, getting around? And so life was pretty difficult. And I was just becoming rapidly acutely aware of all of the aspects of my life that were going to be different. And I did spend a little bit of time feeling sorry for myself. And then I found myself in a movie theater paying no attention to the movie that I was there to see. And in fact, I was imagining myself up on that movie screen in a movie about me. There I was, a 15-year-old boy who had recently been told he's going blind. And I started thinking, geez, how is that character up on the screen going to react? What's the next scene of this movie going to be? How is this story going to unfold?
Right.
How is I going to react? What was the next scene of my life going to be, and how is my life going to unfold? And right then and there, I realized that somebody is writing the script for these movies that we go and see. Somebody is thinking far into the future and determining the storylines for these characters. And why couldn't I determine the storyline for the most important character in my life? Me.
Right.
And right there at that moment, Deanna, it was born. The tool that I would use to help me through all of life's situations and challenges. And I call it my inner movie. And you get to write and direct and star in every one of your next scenes.
Yeah.
And really what it's about is using your imagination and thinking forward. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to anticipate. And when you can anticipate people's actions and reactions or obstacles or hurdles, then you are able to better prepare yourself for whatever that situation is and whatever outcome you are seeking. And it sounds so simple, but it takes discipline.
Yeah.
And it's a tool that's really helped me succeed in business. It's helped me make big decisions, like to leave a big corporate career to start my own company. It helped me make the decision to sell my company. It's really helped me through lots of different things. Your inner movie, your imagination is a really powerful tool.
I love that. And there's a quote that I've seen in the past that says, you want to be the star in your own movie, right? You want to be the star in your life movie. And so putting yourself in that perspective definitely allows you to kind of look at things a little bit differently. If, I mean, we have a society where it's based on celebrityisms, movies, blah, 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 blah. Now social media, which luckily you can't see because thank God it's kind of, it's a hot mess. Now, I mean, if you use it properly, it can be an incredibly powerful tool, but now that's taken things to a completely another level. But I love that. I think that's a great mentality to have. And I think that, I mean, as with anything, when it comes to making a positive change with your mindset, it takes discipline because you look like you're going to say something. Go ahead.
It does. And using your inner movie really forces you to think about the kind of person you want to be.
Yes.
So I'm a big believer in self-awareness. You need to know how you want to be, what you want to value, how you want to react, how you want to be seen, and how you want, and that helps dictate how you're going to behave and act and the words that you're going to use. So, and I think having that great self-awareness is also really important in creating your future.
Yes, absolutely. Well, okay, let's talk about this book. Well, no, hold on. When did you become a public speaker? When did you start doing that?
So in 2016, in the beginning of 2016, I sold my company. I had some bad stuff happen in my family in 2015. Two of my brothers passed away within 4 months of one another. And I realized at that moment, sitting in the hospital with my second brother, you got to be, assuming you can afford it financially, you got to be doing what you want to be doing now, because none of us know when that last breath is coming. He and those two brothers died way, way, way too early, decades, way too early. And so I decided that the company that I owned, which I loved, we had many thousands of happy customers all around North America, but the work was becoming much more in conflict with who I was as a blind person. Yeah. So much more of my tasks were being put onto my assistant's plate. And so I sold my company in the beginning of 2016 and took a few months off. And then I had a speaking engagement opportunity serendipitously drop into my lap, and I ran with it. And so 2016 until COVID hit, I've had a booked schedule of public speaking all over the United States and Canada and South America and Central America and Puerto Rico. And it's just been great. My events, my speaking engagements were very much towards corporate executives, CEOs, and they're very hands-on, they're very interactive, and they get people out of their comfort zone, and they're a lot of fun. But because they're hands-on and interactive, COVID brought them to a complete halt. So that's when I kind of kicked back and decided to embark on writing the book.
That's amazing. Well, so the speaking thing, I started taking a speaking, like being a part of the speaking group, how they teach you how to speak. And that's a very scary thing to do. I just kind of like starting the podcast. It was a little scary at first. I was like, hey, fuck it, whatever. Like, we're just going to have a great conversation. I'm just going to share this story. I'm going to share my story, and whatever happens is going to happen. Hopefully magic comes of it. But I think that people that can go on stage and speak in front of others are just so incredible. What was that like for you at first?
So I had done a lot of public speaking for the previous decade for large charitable events.
Oh, okay.
So I was pretty comfortable with it. And I had a number of people suggest, hey, you might want to consider doing this professionally. My first paid speaking engagement was really fun. It was a little nerve-wracking. And, I learned a lot about technology failures, and I learned don't let the audio guy tell you that the mics don't need to be tested, because they need to be tested.
Yeah.
I've learned about lighting, people making mistakes, and but it was fun. Somebody says, well, do you still get nervous going on stage? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And I better continue to get nervous going on stage, because if those nerves cease, then it's like I'm mailing it in. I don't want to do that. You want to get better based on the nervous energy, and then you want to get a good start to the program, great start to the speech, and then work off of the energy that you feel in the audience. So it was nerve-wracking in the beginning. I've learned a lot, and I love it. And I can't wait to kind of get back to it.
Hey guys, Deanna here. I'm taking a quick break to share an exciting opportunity with you. I have recently partnered with Scotsman. They have created a crowdfunding campaign building 3D printed electric scooters that make transportation smart, elegant, and sustainable. It runs on energy efficient batteries that double as USB-C power banks. And they're swappable too, so you can replace your battery and keep your scooter. Check out their crowdfunding page down below. Hurry and sign up now to take advantage of their early bird prices, 50% off. It has a built-in camera, GPS, live maps, and an automatic lock. So hurry up now, get in on this. Go to my special link below, 50% off, and be a part of this really cool campaign. You won't be disappointed. And I feel like that energy in the room when you're up there speaking is so probably addicting and intoxicating.
It is. And back to that inner movie and trying to anticipate. So whenever I go into something, a meeting, or whatever, stepping on stage, I always envision what I want the end result to be. So when I'm going on to give a speech, I envision how I want that audience to feel and react at the end of that speech. And that really helps guide your behaviors along the way, not only in writing the speech and preparing and practicing it, but then on stage. And it's a high. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a high.
I can only imagine. That's amazing. Well,
You'll be great. You'll be great. Keep it up.
Oh yeah. I think that maybe I'm making my way there, slowly but surely. We'll see. I mean, obviously, like you said, COVID's thrown a wrench in a lot of different things for a lot of people. That last year created so much separation amongst people. Especially in my own personal family, there's been so much separation just because of some of our viewpoints and our beliefs don't align. And it's been a very interesting, it's been very interesting to watch. I'm a person that can remove myself and kind of float above my body and see what's going on. And it's just man, this hasn't been cool. I'm sorry that this is happening, but at the end of the day, we still have to live our lives, which actually brings me to, I want to digress a little bit. I've been talking, I feel like in the last year and a half has really created more of a movement of people that are wanting to go out and live to their height and live their highest good, or be their highest, best person, that are there breaking up with corporate, and they're doing all these things. I feel like this has been more popular, in this last year and a half than ever before. Do you feel the same way?
I do. I think that, people that have been forced either to give up their work, have been forced out of work, or whatever, I think that this has been an opportunity for people to figure out what they love.
Yeah.
And some people, it's been hard, because some people who lost that job but have families to raise and don't have the big financial resources, they might be out there working 3 jobs just trying to make the groceries and the rent or the mortgage work. And that's difficult. Right. But for other people, I think that it has given them pause. It has given them an opportunity to breathe and to think inwardly and go, you know what, geez, well, in my case, geez, I do want to write a book. And in other people's cases, geez, I do want to change careers. And this is a really good opportunity, or this is an opportunity for me to slowly start my own business, or to start painting, or whatever. So I do think that a lot of good did come out of a terrible situation in so many different ways. But a lot of good has come out of it as well.
It's been a beautiful thing for me to actually talk to people that are going through these transformations or these enlightenments, and that have, like yourself, have broken up with that whole corporate living in that box, doing what you're supposed to do, and just going out there and actually inspiring others. So that brings me to my next thing. So you have this book that's coming out very soon here, right?
It's actually just got released. Yes, it's available right now on Amazon and a bunch of other booksellers. So yes.
Okay, and it's Outsmarting Uncertainty, Create Your Best Life Amid Anxiety and Chaos.
Yes.
Tell us about this book, because that's a lot of people have suffered from anxiety. We've gone through a lot of chaos this last year and a half. Why is this so relevant now than all the other books that are out there that kind of toe the line with the same subject?
Yeah, so great question. So a couple things about the book. First of all, I push people to get out of their comfort zone. I push people to set some goals and go achieve things, go accomplish things. You want to minimize some uncertainties in your life, go accomplish things. And I can explain that in a moment. And I realized that COVID that shut down all my speaking and the book had been swirling around. I realized, well, my goodness, Mark, take your own damn advice. Go accomplish something. You've been wanting to write this book. The ideas have been swirling around for 3 years. You have the time now because you're not getting on airplanes and traveling all over the place and writing speeches. And so the book is also kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy for myself to get myself out of my own comfort zone and write the book.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting exercise in living what I try to coach people or encourage people to do. I'm a big believer that, uncertainty obviously causes lots of anxiety. And in many cases, people that feel heavy loads of anxiety can become really stagnant and inactive.
Yeah.
And I just believe that you have to figure out ways of replacing that inaction or that stagnation with action and accomplishment. I'm also a big believer that, and that's a great way of kind of getting yourself out from massive amounts of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So part of the book is about, dealing with big uncertainty and dealing with stagnation and anxiety. But the other part of the book, and I've got this whole section called the Balanced Uncertainty Index, is people that are too certain, people that have too much certainty in their life, people that have no worries. They need to, I encourage them to go out there and create some. Too much certainty is not good. That means you're probably not being creative. You're lacking creativity. You're lacking open-mindedness. And if you're a leader, a business leader, and you are too certain and you are not welcoming and creative, then there's a chance you're even a little bit dictatorial. So I encourage people to review this Balanced Uncertainty Index, and in areas where they have very little worry and lots of certainty, to go out there and create some uncertainty. And in areas where they are overwhelmed and they're anxious, to chip away at that uncertainty by doing a couple things. Number one, there are global and distant uncertainties out there over which we have no control. And you have to just accept that. I had to accept the fact that I was going to go blind. There was nothing I could do about that medically. But what I could do is I could control how I reacted and I could control how I lived my life. So people have to go out there and figure out, okay, it's these big uncertainties that are getting me down or weighing me down. I just have to accept them. Now let's focus our energy on things that I can control and slowly chip away, determine some smaller goals, determine the actionable items to achieve those goals. There's nothing wrong with starting small.
Right.
And then go do it.
Yes.
Go do it. Take the action. You are accountable for your own life. So go out there and do it. And the more you do it, the more anxiety you reduce and the more confidence you build.
Mm-hmm. That's the perfect recipe. I'm telling you, like, for me, like, I think I have a good balance. Like, I get a little nervous here and then, like, my life's uncertain right now. I mean, I'm not in the corporate world anymore. I focus 100% on my podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not where it's not where it needs to be, but I feel like I'm getting there. This space is a good space to be in right now because it's blowing up. But I also know that nothing in life is promised, that we only have today, this moment, this right, you have to enjoy every moment. And, I've come to accept that, nothing, you can't control anything. Control is an illusion. So if you think that you're going to go through life and control every little thing in your life, and that's just going to be your safety net, you're going to have some big realizations when your whole plan just goes out of whack because something happened that was out of your control.
That's exactly right. There's only one thing you can control, and it is what you say or do in this particular moment. Amen. Outside of that, you do not have control. You're exactly correct.
Amen.
And that's why you need to really be self-aware. You need to know, kind of the person you want to be and the values that you have and the vision that you have for your future, so that your actions and your words at this moment are congruent with where you're trying to take your life. So having that vision of your future, for instance, I, at that 15-year-old kid with looking myself up on that big screen, I kind of plotted out who I wanted to be in college, who I wanted to be as a young professional, who I wanted to be, I knew that when I turned 50, I wanted to be physically fit. I wanted to be optimistic. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be in a great relationship. I knew all of those things. So my words and my actions along the way were mostly consistent with who I wanted to become.
Yes, I love that. With that being said, where can people find you, support you, find your book, all this good stuff? Can you plug your links for me?
Absolutely. The easiest way is you can, if you want to go right and buy the book, you just do a search on Amazon or wherever you buy your books for Outsmarting Uncertainty or Mark Valenziano. But really, you can just go to www.outsmartinguncertainty.com. And that'll be a page about the book. You'll find a little audio message there from me. You can download a little primer about the book, and then you can buy the book right there. And then from there, you could link over to markvalenziano.com, and you can pick up the phone and call me. You can send me an email. I'd love to hear from people. If you've read the book, I'd love to know what you thought of it and what your favorite stories were, or what is your own story? How did it impact your life? And things like that. So uncertainty.com. Is a great and easy way to find me.
I love that. And I will definitely put all those links in the show notes, you guys. So please, if you are dealing with any uncertainty and you've got anxiety, feel like your life is chaotic, go and check out the book, and or reach out to Mark and just see, I'm sure he would love to talk to you and
Absolutely.
walk you through that, and give you some tips on how you can overcome those different things that are happening. So before we say goodbye, Mark, this has been a great conversation. I think I could talk to you for hours.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes, this has been amazing. Can you any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to leave with the audience?
Yeah, go shake up your life. Don't become complacent. Go, if you're overwhelmed and you're anxious, then take it slow and figure this out. And please read the book; it'll help you. But it'll help steady you to deal with whatever life is throwing at you. But other than that, don't live a life of complacency. Go out there, figure out what you want to change, what you want to learn, what you want to add to your life, what you want to remove from your life, and go after it, because it adds so much value to your life and so much to your happiness. And I really am a firm believer that happiness is the cornerstone, gratitude and optimism really are the cornerstone to happiness. And happiness though is the foundation on which we build success. So if people want to have a successful life, make sure you do everything you can to make yourself happy, and you will find success.
Yes, make yourself happy. No one has control of your happiness but yourself. That is a choice. You have to exercise that every single day.
Exactly.
Every single day, and that's your responsibility.
One thing that I've always lived by, and a sentence that I've used forever, is that we become the result of the decisions we make. And so go out there and make great decisions, and go shake up your life and become the result of the decisions that you make.
I love that. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mark, for being a guest. This is amazing. I'm sure there is more exciting things on the horizon for you. So please keep us informed so you can come back and share those things with us, because I'm super pumped to see what that is. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, follow, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.